Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity in Naperville. Thanks for making time to be here. Thank you for making time to be here. If you forgot me, I'm Benson. I'm the minister here at Unity. I just took 1 week off. It's okay. You know, that first day of the year is kind of a blur for a lot of people, so you probably didn't even notice that I wasn't here, right? Thank you so much to Michael Spear filling in for me while I was gone. Yeah, thank you. And we have great big whooping cheers because our beloved Kim Char is back! Feeling good. Life is good, yes. Yeah, so we don't need me anymore. We want to hear them, right? Let's let our band, hi is good. Don't forget Mark, our drummer, back in the corner there. Kevin Conlon, master of guitar and vocals, thank you. And if you'd like to stand, you're welcome. If you want to sit while we sing, you're welcome to do that too. Let's start. Good morning, everyone! Are you ready to sing? Are you ready to sing? We say yes to Spirit. Woo! Together. This very day, this very hour, I claim my good. I say yes to the power within me. This very second, to the inner voice that beckons, the inner voice that beckons to me. One more time, this very day, this very hour, I claim my good, I say yes to the power within me. This very second, I pay attention to the inner voice that beckons, inner voice that beckons me. Oh yeah. And I say yes, Spirit, yes, 1,000 times yes. And yes, Spirit, yes, 1,000,000 times yes. And yes, Spirit, yes, 1,000,000 times. This very day, this very hour, I claim my good, I say yes to the power within me. This very second, I pay attention to the inner voice that beckons, the inner voice that beckons me. And I say yes, Spirit, yes, 1,000 times. Yes. Yes, Spirit, yes, 1,000,000 times. Yes. Oh, yes, Spirit, yes, 1,000,000 times. Yes. May I always say yes to the inner voice that beckons, the inner voice that beckons me. Sing yes again. Oh, yes, Spirit, yes, 1,000 times, yes. And yes, Spirit, yes, 1,000,000 times, yes.
She's back.
Oh, may we awaken every day with that enthusiasms, don't you think? May we say yes every moment of the day. May we stay centered in that presence, in that peace, in that wisdom, in that love. Are you ready to sing? Here we go. Up and down, spinning around. Seems things are changing. Up and down, up and down, spinning around, spinning around. But I find balance. I find my way. I find my way centered in the peace of God. Centered in the peace of God. Let's sing that again. Up and down, spinning around, Seems things are changing almost every day. Up and down, spinning around. But I find balance. I find my way. Yes, centered in the peace of God. Centered in the peace. There is clarity. There is clarity. There is wisdom. There is abundant grace. Centered in the peace of God. Oh yeah. Centered in the peace of God. Up and down. Spinning around. Seems things are changing almost every day. Up and down, spinning around. But I find balance. I found my way. Centered in the peace of God. Yeah. Centered in the peace of God. There is clarity. There is clarity. There is wisdom. There is wisdom. Oh, there is abundant grace. Abundant grace. Centered in the peace of God. Oh, yes. Centered in the peace of God. There is clarity. There is clarity. There is wisdom. There is abundant grace. Centered in the peace of God. How's that feel? Centered in, you feel it? Take that deep breath there. Centered in the peace of God, here we stand. Centered in the peace of God, here we remain. Centered in the peace of God, just breathe it in. Centered in the peace of God.
Will you join me in prayer, please? Oh, loving Spirit, it is good to be centered in the peace of God. We need go nowhere but here to find this. We breathe deeply through our heart, where that peace is always present. The clarity that we seek in uncertain times is present in the midst of us. Thank you, God. Amen. Will you help me speak our invocation? The words are up here on the screen. Together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Thank you. You may be seated.
We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. Sing that again. We are holy. are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. Spirit divine, come to me. Feeling love, healing me. Open my heart, allow me to see beauty and love lives in me.
You are holy,
Spirit divine,
you are holy,
come to me.
you are holy,
Feeling love,
you are holy,
healing me.
you are holy,
Open my heart,
you are holy,
allow me to see
you are holy,
beauty and love
you are
lives in me. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy. You are holy. We are whole. I am whole.
Oh, beautiful. And it is so. And so it is. Even from a distance, with Kim Char not even being here, she picked the exact perfect right songs for today. It's the first of the year, and usually at the first of the year, I tend to take a look at what's happened in this past year. You ever do that? See what the milestones were, maybe in our country or in the world or in our own personal lives. What kind of changes did we go through in this last year? And one of the things that I tend to do is check, well, the media, I guess, mostly, for what those milestones might be or what people's opinions might be. And I've got a few up here on the screen for you to take a look at that, not anything really new, but that we're still approaching that point of global warming of no return. So just be mindful of what we can do and be in the face of that. Also, that few Americans say that there's been significant progress over the last 50 years in achieving equal treatment for African Americans. And Black Americans are more pessimistic than optimistic that progress will be made, at least over the next 5 years, when it comes to voting rights, policing, the justice system. We're in an era now, this one surprised me, where there's more human-made material than living biomass existing on the earth. I thought, does that include the oceans? Can that be true? Somebody fact check me on that one. All right, then there's businesses and brands that are struggling to catch up with our demand for convenience, accessibility, empowerment. We want too much that they can not provide. How many of you have noticed one or two or a zillion malls closing? Noticed Fox Valley is emptying out, and instead they're putting in apartment houses in the parking lot. Office buildings are emptying out. Remote workers don't need office buildings anymore. And there's also an increase in students, especially college students, working from home. And so what we're finding is it may be more convenient, but it's also lonelier. And people are experiencing burnout from living in the Zoom room. There's also big cities and suburbs emptying out as people move to smaller towns because they can work from home now. There are robots and artificial intelligence teaming up with workers now, teaming up with workers to be more efficient. And we're still wondering if we can shake hands yet. At Unity, we're wondering if we can hug yet. Should we have our wedding yet? Should I go back to living in the dorm yet? Should I go to that concert yet? And if we're in the real estate market, some of us are wondering, can I sell my house yet? Will anybody buy it with interest rates this high? Or can I buy a house yet with interest rates this high? We're discovering that our used cars are almost more valuable than new cars. And there's still a shortage of used cars. And we're wondering, some of us, if we can still get in on the great resignation and demand a better job than we have right now. Or does inflation actually now have control over the job market where it's hard to find a job? Those are just a few of the things that we've seen in flux this past year. And experts, more than one, are making a prediction, here it is, for the next few years. This instability will continue. Yeah. So I've got this little sign for you, just to keep you in memory of this. Oh, sorry I quit was. Maybe I shouldn't have quit my job because I can't find one now. All right, next slide, please. This can be what it feels like right now, and it might be, what the New York Sun newspaper is saying is a weakened Russia, weakened China, and weakened American economy all set the stage for more unexpected developments in 2023. So it's politics, it's economics, it's real estate, stock market is in there, social system is in there, media and technology, all involved in that feeling of instability for a while. It's absolutely normal for human beings to want to know what's next. Please tell me what the future is so I can prepare for it, right? And we're in this place where we just can't do that. We are looking in the back mirror, the rear view mirror, trying to find our way back to the good old days. They are long gone. We are not going to find them again, according to experts. But maybe the new normal? No, not even the new normal has set itself in place yet. We're still in that place of insecurity. And we're going to have to pay attention to what Einstein says at this moment up here on the screen. We can't solve the problem at the same level of consciousness that created it. Really, our biggest problem is the collective unconscious. When something this big addresses the entire world, it's a collective conscious or unconsciousness that has helped to create it. But out of all the sadness and insecurity that I just talked about, I want you to hear something really worthwhile. That when you are in this state of uncertainty, there is a gift here for you. As a matter of fact, this is what you were made for. You were made for these physical, material insecurities because you are a spiritual being, and it's now time to let it flow. You are being given an opportunity and a call to reveal your divine potential. And you have the power to do that. I'm never fails that when I'm working on a message, I run across something that says exactly what I'm talking about. And this week, as I'm working on uncertainty, which is really a downer to work on, by the way. I'm working on uncertainty, and one night as I was getting ready for bed, I was looking at Facebook, and one of you posted something that said, "Oh, this is so cool. I was just thinking about this," and then she posted it, and here's what she posted from Deepak Chopra: "Accept uncertainty and step into the field of infinite possibilities. Uncertainty is the fertile ground of pure creativity and freedom." Believe it or not. So I'm just tagging on to this chain of people that are all thinking about this, that there is potential here in this uncertainty. It's demanding bringing forth our divine potential. It's not like we're going to go back and change the past. We can't change what happened, but we can control how we let it affect us. And if it involves people that are doing things that you don't like, we're not going to be able to change them, but we can decide how we want to respond to them. I know you've already learned that in Unity. And every time you bump up against that painful moment, it's our chance to see space being made for our divine potential to come through. And that's our choice, really, to either misuse this creative power that we have or point it in the right direction and approach uncertainty with kind of a, well, this is interesting. That's kind of the minimum that we want to go for, that this is interesting versus scary. Or maybe it's curious about what might happen, or have some kind of positive anticipation about what might happen. I hear you. Oh, sure, kitty. Oh, sure, kitty. But I'm supporting what Jesus said from the book of John. In the world, you shall have distress, but have confidence. I have overcome the world. The I in Jesus is the Christ in us, and we have the ability to overcome and transform what it is that we're going through right now. So it is okay to say, I don't know, but please tag that with yet, and I'm looking forward to finding out. I don't know right now, but I'm looking forward to finding out, knowing that access to that wisdom is within us. We just need to get ourselves in the right frame of mind. And one of the first things that we do at this point is turn our thoughts away from the uncertainty, not in denial, but toward what is true, what is solid, what is never changing, and what will help us get through this. And that is basically the presence of God within us. Let's take a look at what all is available to us up here on the screen. Many ways that we describe the spiritual presence around us and within us here at Unity. And it's a reminder today that you cannot go anywhere outside of God's presence, and that presence is our supply. It's that spiritual energy that forms our daily bread if we work with it. It's also that presence that informs us when we have questions. It's that presence that means we lack nothing in our lives. And it's that presence that works as a law to bring us what we believe. Let it be done to you as you believe. So you've got the foundation of what you need to move through these uncertain times, as long as we're consciously making our choices for spirit. So that's our new series this next few weeks, is conscious choices in uncertain times. Are you up for that? It will feel a whole lot better, trust me, than what we're trying to do right now. It starts with having faith in what is. And faith in what is, as Gandhi would say up here on the screen, faith is nothing but a living, wide-awake consciousness of God. Remember, pivot, turn away from what's not working towards where your source really is. So we make these conscious choices in these uncertain moments, but not quickly, because the unconscious in us demands to make our decisions about 95% of our day. Did you know that? Have you ever noticed that you get home after driving from somewhere and you don't really know how you did that? That's just part of your subconscious working, and it will continue to work and do again and again what it's done before, because that's its natural habit, is to respond from the past. And that's not really working very well for us, or we wouldn't have created this uncertain era that we're moving through. So the trick is that we have to use the keys to the kingdom of heaven. You know, Susan, can we find that scripture? I want to share that with you from Matthew 16. Jesus said, I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. I completely missed like an entire section of my message. Okay, it's for you. You need to hear this again. All right. Well, what I wanted to show you was that the keys that Jesus is talking about are our thoughts. Our thoughts become our faith, what we believe in. And this is a season where we get to get clear on what we believe in. So I brought a few props today to show you what we tend to do. This is what humans tend to do. So here's a picture of my mom and dad, Bill and Betty. And they're just acting as a symbol, this photograph. You know, many of you have pictures like this around your homes. And they become a symbol for people love us. I am loved because, not because I have a picture in my house, but I have a picture in my house because they remind me that I'm loved. And some people may not have these pictures in their house and may not feel like they're loved. So if you put your faith in the people outside of you to love you, and you're not able to put your faith in your own higher self, worthy of love, then it's going to be hard to move through these uncertain times. This is this big old honkin' heavy, just the briefcase itself is heavy that I carry my laptop in. And this is just a symbol for the work that we do. It represents putting our faith in our abilities at work. I am safe as long as I've got a job and I've got skills that will give me a paycheck. Can you relate to that? And then here's our cell phone. Most of you have one of these, the cell phone that we use to stay connected. And as long as I have a cell phone and people in my contact database, I'm going to be okay because there's somebody out there that I can call if I need help, right? But what if there's not? What if they don't answer the phone? What if you're on their off list? Okay, so then there's our checkbook. I put my checkbook in this pretty cover so I'll feel good about it when I look at it. So we have a checkbook that represents what's in the bank, and we put our faith in that, or we put our faith in the employer that puts money in the checkbook for us, right? This is where our faith is. A lot of us take a look at the news these days on maybe an iPad, something like this that tells us what's happening in the world, and this is where our faith is, that if the news tells us you should be afraid and this is concerning, like here I am telling you that uncertain times are ahead. Yeah, I read that here. Yeah, so do you want to put your faith in that? Prescription drugs, sometimes we get even addicted to this, or maybe alcohol of some kind as our comfort system. We put our faith in this to make us feel better in some way. So you can probably relate to any one of these items here. And the point is that any one of those could go away at any minute. They have gone away, right? You have had that experience where you can't depend on what you thought you could depend on. And so we tend to use the divine law to reproduce everything that we believe in until that material world cannot respond. It's no longer capable. And that's when we start to get worried. So we use those keys to the kingdom of heaven as, I would associate the keys with our thoughts of the spiritual dimension. When you use keys or thoughts of the spiritual dimension, you have the ability to set yourself free from bondage. Or you can actually use those same thoughts to tie you to what is not serving you. That's the thing about that divine law. So when we face this uncertainty that we're all facing, consider what I have up here on the screen is that these uncertain times we're going through is coming from unconscious behavior. The fact that we have just saturated ourselves with these things as our source of good becomes a repetitive behavior. And we can't solve that problem. We can't solve this uncertainty in life if we keep going back to this same source of good, because it's not really our source of good. So let's see this uncertainty as an opportunity to grow, to renew our consciousness. And it's going to be an opportunity for us to, rather than let our belief in error thoughts work our lives, let our faith in the spiritual dimension work our lives. We can start by focusing on what we desire, and you may not have in this uncertain season, you may not know exactly what you can even hope for because it's in such flux, but you could at least decide how you want to feel during this season, right? You can do that, right? We all know we don't want to feel afraid. We don't want our temper to get the best of us, right? What would we like to feel as we go through these changes? Give me some ideas what you'd like to feel. Love, joy, enthusiastically from Don. I'm signing up for love and joy. What else would you like to feel? Kind, optimism, serenity, faith, clarity. So good news. Those qualities are all within you because the Spirit of God is within you. And so what we want to do here is we want to become that energy. Just go into your room and shut the door and sit in a nice soft chair, but don't fall asleep. And when you close your eyes, think about one of those feelings that we just named. Just think about the word. Just think about the word until you can start feeling what that idea feels like in your emotions. And then just live there for 5, 10, 15 minutes. My darlings, I promise you, you will feel the change in your being. And you're filling up your tank so that when you can go out into the uncertainty, you carry peace with you. You carry joy and love with you. You will become a shining light for people around you that are seeking that as well. Know it for yourself, know it for other people. And as you start to sink into what that spiritual consciousness is ready to be in you, it will start to make you ready to do whatever it is that you have to do. Because when Spirit says jump, you will say how high. You will just know that it's time to make a change. I read this in one of those business blogs in the last week or two up here on the screen. Agility is the best antidote to instability. I had to think about that. Agility is the best antidote to instability. So agility, is that ability to make changes quickly, to think quickly, to change your mind quickly. And you've seen physically a runner down the track who is jumping over hurdles, right? That's agile. When they can be at this level and suddenly they're like that, and they keep going, they don't fall over. So that's agile. But what we want to do is be able to think with agility, to be able to think quickly. And we don't want to have to figure it out in our brain. We just want to be able to tap into what Spirit is saying. And so let's work on that. Let's work on being so in tune with what is within us that we can be agile when things change. I saw something extraordinary happen in the United Methodist Church in the last couple of years. And I'm not just talking about the one on the corner. I am talking about the worldwide Methodist Church. They came to a question mark amongst them whether or not they wanted to be a church that welcomed LGBTQ friends into their community as they are, loving and accepting them for who they are, and even performing marriages for them in the United Methodist Church. And the majority, the large majority of the United Methodist churches in America wanted that. But there was still a large majority globally that did not feel that that was biblically correct. They were agile enough to split. Rather than to go down a path that they'd been on for hundreds, if not, are we up to thousands of years yet for them? Probably not. But there was an awakening in consciousness. They were in touch with that higher self within them that was pointing them in a direction that is now changing in America. I was thrilled to see that change happen. They decided that they, good question. They decided that they wanted to welcome the LGBTQ community in their church without saying, you're welcome, but you have to change. Or you're welcome, but that's a sin. They don't say that any longer. They don't believe that any longer in this United Methodist Church in America. And if there's a global in front of the Methodist name, then you know that you're in the other church that will probably show up more around the world. You can get married. If you're a gay couple, you can get married in the United Methodist Church. There was also an example of agility, I think, that we've seen in the past 3 years during the pandemic of young employees who, when that moment happened and everybody had to go home from the office, their heart opened to what was possible. Even when they might have thought, uh-oh, what's next? The pink slip? Instead, they started to decide what really mattered to them. They started to listen to their heart and think about what they truly valued, to the point where they realized, I'm not going back to that job. I'm going to work for some place that honors what matters to me, that I am in sync with. They call it the Great Resignation. Have you heard of that? And so that's why in some cases there's a real shortage of employees, because they left where they were and they've moved to places that are in alignment with their own hearts. So they were able to be agile and follow their heart. And as they do what they love, this is how they can live their life. Isn't that interesting? You know, when I was in college, which was just, a few years before I got here, I was majoring in broadcasting. But at some point it got boring, and I loved music, and I thought I'm going to switch my major to music. I was still living at home at that time, and my dad said, no. I'm paying for my schooling, but I was living in his house. You heard that one, right? Okay, so no, there's no way you're going to make a living at that. Just stick with what you're doing. And I was innocent enough at the time to, actually, considering who I was at the time, I'm surprised that I listened to him, but I did. I wasn't really sure myself whether that was going to support me. But what is fun is I have 20 and 30-year-old nieces and nephews who are easily making a living doing music. And they had the courage to listen to their heart. And as a matter of fact, knowing these kids, it's like there was never a question in their mind. They loved music. They could play every instrument. They loved to sing, direct, whatever. They were just going to keep doing what they loved. So this is a chance for us to become more agile, learn how to listen to our heart, and follow what Spirit is drawing us to. And as we continue to make these conscious choices in uncertain times, that means being tapped into the divine versus that stuff, then we free ourselves from bondage, and the keys to the kingdom of heaven actually become direction in how to live a spiritual life in this human experience, which is the whole reason we're here, to live a spiritual life in this human experience and put our faith in the spiritual dimension. as we do that, we're going to find that our daily needs are met. One of my favorite scriptures, let me kind of combine a couple here up on the screen from Jesus. Matthew 6, he said, no one can serve two masters. Either you will hate one and love the other, or you'll be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after all these things. Metaphysically, think of a pagan as one who believes in the power of the material world, material stuff. So people who think that's where their good comes from will run after those things willy-nilly. I'm sure that's what they'll say, willy-nilly, willy-nilly. Okay, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. Steep your life. This is so good. Think of yourself as a tea bag when I read this. Steep your life in God reality. You're in a cup of God reality tea. Steep your life in God reality, God initiative, God provisions. It all starts invisible, right? But it becomes visible. Don't worry about missing out. You'll find all your everyday human concerns will be met. I'm going to encourage you to put your faith in that idea. And just to give you some examples of how we might want to move forward, I'm going to finish with a few call-in responses here, up here on the screen. So let me lead. This is, as we're facing this time of instability, we're being called to put our faith in spiritual truth. That's where we're going to find our firm footing. So let me lead, and then if you'll respond. We may experience a resurgence in COVID together, but I put my faith in the vibrant, renewing power of divine life. There may still be those who resist racial equality and justice together, but I consciously choose to heal my unconscious bias and provide safe space where all can feel accepted and included. Interest rates, prices may continue to rise together, but I put faith in omnipresent substance and trust that all our needs are met. Politics may continue to polarize together, but I put my faith in divine wisdom and seek spiritual understanding. And in this world, there may be instability together, but I take heart knowing no weapon formed against me will prosper. There is only one power working in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And nobody said this is going to be easy. But the fact that you're sitting here, you're watching online, you're taking these ideas in, means that you understand where your true good is. You know where to look first. Pivot away from the uncertainty and toward the good that is, yes, invisible to the eye, but absolutely always present, always giving right here, starting right here. Let's take some time in meditation and make that connection. We'll just allow ourselves to relax. This is a moment where we don't need to know all the answers, but we can rest and know that the answers will come. Just as you feel this chair firmly beneath you, sustaining your body, at the same time, there is a presence in every cell of your body sustaining you. Let's take a moment to imagine that presence of divine life alive and thriving in every cell of our bodies. Feel that light, that power, that renewing energy of God thriving in every cell of your body. From the tip of your toes all the way up to the top of your head, divine light pours through your being. I am alive in the life of God, and I am grateful. While I hear people disagree, I'm grateful in this moment to know there is still love here. That there is enough good for each of us to be who we are and to have our needs met. Because love is here harmonizing all things for good. Sense that energy all around you that is working to bring your needs to you, as it does the same for all beings. I am deeply loved and cared for. While my checkbook may say, "This is all you have," while the unemployment market may say, "There's not enough for you," we turn our thoughts towards our one source of good, a good that is infinite and constantly giving. Grateful that God's infinite substance becomes whatever my heart holds true in me. I see abundance flowing in my life and providing for all beings without limit. And in those moments where I don't seem to know what to do, I breathe. Right now, I breathe and allow. Spirit's divine wisdom to rise in me. With a clear feeling in my heart, I know yes or no. with a clear feeling in my heart. I know, stay or go. As I choose the feeling of love and appreciation first, I always know what I am to do, where I am to go. There is nothing uncertain in God. And God and I are one. There is nothing uncertain in me. When I first turn my thoughts toward God. Thank you, Spirit. You are the source of all that I need, and I gratefully say yes. 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 1,000,000 times yes. So it is. Now I let it be. Amen. We'll make sure that meditation is available for you on our website. All the archives of our services are there, or our YouTube channel if you'd like to listen to that again. And next week, we're going to continue how to make conscious choices in these uncertain times through our white stone ceremony, which we haven't done in a few years because of COVID. So I'm looking forward to that. And for those of you who are watching online and you're not able to get here into the building, we're making a white stone available to you by mail. So just go to our website. If you'll make a donation, you'll see to fill out your mailing address. We'll package one up for you and make sure that it gets there in one piece. And whether you get it by next Sunday or not, it doesn't matter. You can always watch this service. You can watch next Sunday's service when you can. And if you've got your stone there handy, then you can work through the service at that time and choose your new name for this next year. So I hope you'll join us for that. And we've come to the time in our service where we share our tithes and our love offerings as another opportunity to just check and see how we feel about giving. Am I certain or uncertain? Is my faith here or is my faith here? Please make sure it's here before you give. And we are grateful for all your gifts. For those of you who are giving online, we are grateful and consider you a strong part of our community here. And so just thank you for your support. You can give online at unityinnaperville.org, or you can mail a check to our P.O. Box 9733 in Naperville, and the zip is 60567. Let's bless this. Let's feel this love as we give. Let's say the words together here on the screen. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful. Thank you. Ushers, will you come, please?
So blessed, I am so blessed, I so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Good morning. I'm Diane Pitterly, and I'll be sharing the announcements today. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We're glad that you're here. If you want to learn more about what's happening at Unity, sign up for our weekly e-news or for Kitty's twice monthly New Thoughts email by going to our homepage at unityinnaperville.org or email admin@unityinnaperville.org. Details for the following events are in the event calendar at unityinnaperville.org. We are collecting styrofoam today and next Sunday. If it's been in contact with food, please wash thoroughly. No foam insulation or packing peanuts. If you can help deliver the styrofoam to Dart Container in North Aurora for reprocessing on January 15th, email admin@unityinnaperville.org. If you're part of our online community, join Reverend Kitty and friends for backroom banter today after service. This special 30-minute Zoom room gathering will help our online viewers get to know each other and our leadership team. Click on today's date on our event calendar at unityinnaperville.org to access the Zoom link. The Grief Support Group meets online tomorrow at 7 p.m. Monday Morning Metaphysics meets tomorrow online at 10:30 a.m. The group is reading The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Our White Stone service will be offered next Sunday. If you live out of town, we'll mail you a white stone when you donate $40. Fill out the form at unityinnaperville.org. If you'd like to learn how to pray with confidence, join Reverend Kitty online Tuesday, January 17th at 7 p.m. for a review of Unity's method of affirmative prayer. We'll practice prayers related to health, finance, relationships, guidance, or whatever matters to you. Access the link to the Zoom room from our event calendar at unityinnaperville.org. Prayer chaplains are available to pray with you by phone or in the prayer room after the service. Email your name and phone number to prayer@unityinnaperville.org, and a prayer chaplain will call you today by 1 p.m. For details on all of our events, go to unityinnaperville.org. For questions, email admin@unityinnaperville.org. Now, Beth Schwartz has an announcement.
Do we have the bunco slide? Oh, there it is. Thank you. So the events team has put together a social event for everybody. It's going to be a bunco game. For those of you who don't know what bunco is, It's a game that started back in the 1800s. It's an easy, super easy dice game. We'll play in tables of 4, and you'll be able to switch tables twice during the night, so you'll get to meet a bunch of different people and spend a little time talking. We will give a lesson beforehand, and we'll have a practice round, so nobody's not going to know what they're doing. And as an added incentive, we're going to provide snacks and drinks and dessert afterwards, and prizes will be awarded. So it's a $2 entry fee, and, it'll be divvied up for first, second place, bunkos, etc. So it'll be a modest prize, but it's an incentive, right? So I hope we see you all there. It'll be on the 20th, Friday night at 7 p.m. here at Unity. Thanks.
I got nothing. Why don't you just go ahead?
You always got
Why
something.
don't we stand and have one more song?
Well, everyone, I invite you to stand as you're able. And in fact, while we're standing, look back there at the camera, Sharon, if you want to get that. Everyone, say hello,
Hello.
to our friends online. Thank you, everybody. And let's all together online and in the room sing this song together. Blessed always. Together. Blessed always. Blessed always. For the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
It feels so good to have Kim Char home, doesn't it? Yes. She thinks she lives across town in Naperville, but I told her this is her home. So. And everyone, I'm online. Please join me after the service today, because this is our big backroom banter, what do you call that, launch? Yeah, I will be there in the Zoom room, so just go to our website, unityinnaperville.org, find the event calendar, click on today's date, and there will be a link to the Zoom room, and we'll let you in. So I hope we get a chance to get to know you, you get to know each other, and we'll be doing this weekly from now on. So you never know who's going to be in that Zoom room, but I hope you'll show up today. Thank you for that. Here's our closing affirmation. Let's take these words in and then let them through. Together, I can be certain in uncertain times when I first turn my thoughts toward God. Hold that thought. Thank you so much for being here today. Much love to all of you online. You guys, there's so many goodies out in the front room. Join us for that. We'll see you sometime this week, hopefully. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, up and down, spinning around, seems things are changing almost every day. Up and down, spinning around, I found balance, I found my way, centered in the peace of God. Centered. Hey Sharon, what camera do I look at to say hello? Well, up and down, spinning around, seems things are changing almost every day. Hey, up and down, spinning around, I found balance. You can spin it home, you ready? Centered in the peace of God. Yeah. centered in the peace of God. There's clarity. There is clarity. There is wisdom. There is abundant grace. Centered in the peace of God. Centered in the peace of God. Okay, at home, you can dance. Up and down. Spinning around. Seems things are changing almost every day. Up and down, spinning around. I found valleys, and I found my way. Centered in the peace of God. Centered in the peace of God. There is clarity. There is clarity. There is wisdom. Abundant grace, centered in the peace of God. Sing it, Meredith. Yes, centered in the peace. There is clarity. Hi, Paul. There is clarity. There is wisdom. There is abundant grace, centered in the peace of God. Where you are right now, centered in the peace of God. At home or in the room. Stay centered in the peace of God. Here we remain, centered in the peace of God. Mwah, mwah. All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Jim.
Sorry, I jumped the start on Holy, Holy, Holy.